You know how we do that is like, is it live? Is it live?
Is it live? No, but you know what? Even in the last one, I was just like, "Yee," and I came out, oh, I came out like that. I was like, oh my God, like I was so embarrassed. It's okay. It's okay.
Okay. C's advice tip number one on live streaming. Even though the countdown says go, it doesn't necessarily mean go. Give it a couple more seconds because how many times have we talked and we're like mid sentence and it comes
Hmm.
out like, you know, I don't know. I don't
Yes.
know. I'm trying to say a word that just might come out like potty word, and you're like, no, that wasn't what I said. It was half the word. Anyway, I
Oh
mean,
my
probably
God,
was a
you
potty
guys.
word, but you know.
Oh my gosh, the things that we talk about. But anyhow, happy Saturday. Yay! Oh my God, I missed you guys last weekend. I sure did. But you know what? I know, and the funny part is that I was getting texts and DMs, and sometimes, like, some people even called me, are we missing something? Is this Saturday? I thought this was Saturday because, your show and the notification of your show is what lets me know I'm alive and it's Saturday. I'm like, oh,
Let's
people.
be. I'm alive or live. Thank you for like making me feel alive, which you do do. You do have some really good conversations that do make people feel alive, girl.
It made me
Uh,
feel so special. So thank you guys for those who, like commented or text me saying, "Hey, what's going on? Are you okay? No show. What's going on?" That's my Saturday morning stuff. So I love you guys. That just shows you the power of the network and the community that we have. And so yeah, well there you go. The first, is he the first one this time?
there's always a first time for things in life, and it's proof that life happens. Can I do see a tip number two for live streaming?
There you go.
Consistency is key. So if this was just an example of, oh, I'll just go whenever I feel like it, or I'm tired, I'm not going to do it, that's fine.
Mm-mm,
It's your prerogative. And like I said, life does happen. But the
mm-mm.
problem is also is humans by nature like consistency. This is why
Yes.
even in child parenting rules, discipline is key and consistency and discipline is key because the kid then will now remember it. They're going to remember it over like a billion times, but they will eventually remember it. So same with content creation, live stream, etc. Be consistent. Be consistent.
And welcome to
Uh,
another episode of Sia Says. I
Hey,
told you.
but I'm not ranting today. That was an
No.
actual like there's so many creators out there on LinkedIn right now.
That's true.
Just
That is
saying.
true. That is true. But uh, I love the fact that you give the tips and people. Please listen. I've learned so much. I'm telling you, I even know how to run my own show whenever producers don't like to show up or they're too tired or you know. I love you.
I was gonna make a slurping sound like ASMR style, but I'm too far away from my mic.
No, let's not do that. But anyhow, so let's go ahead and get this party started, y'all. So let's gonna go ahead and roll that intro, and we're gonna go into some stuff that we've been working on for the last few weeks. How about that?
Woohoo! Let's do it.
Let's do it. Hey y'all, welcome to my corner. This is your girl Raquel, aka Raki. Step into our world of connections where I'm a proud Hounds of Business Pack leader, which is a community of entrepreneurs committed to sharing positivity, growing together, and never forgetting to inject some fun. Get to know amazing people in this safe space, so come and join me in my connection corner. Hey, and dance, and dance, and dance, and dance. There you go. I did a little bit longer this time because people, they say they like that little part. And I love it. I love it. They're like, yes, and dance,
You know what I
and
should do? I
dance.
should pull up a things like and dance with us. I think that's our
Yes,
future, like and dance with us. Okay. Thank you.
yes, yes, absolutely. And Amika danced with us this week. I was so excited. I'm like, oh, mind blown. Tell all the people, whoever missed it, like, no joke. This was an amazing show.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm glad. So I have a show with another client called Checkpoint Real Talk. Checkpoint is a cybersecurity company, data cloud security company, and basically, they thought it was a genius idea to do reaction videos to TV and media, how it's depicted, and they will bring their crew. I'm just there to guide everyone along a little bit. And they
Mhm.
just tell us whether it's reality, if it's BS, if it's like meh reality, or if it's just pure sci-fi. So this week we had engineered arts. So we had Leo Chen and Naomi Hart. and Amica. Amica is a robot, and it's purpose built to be an interactive interface in a robot humanoid, I guess, form factor. And you guys, if you guys don't do anything with TikTok or YouTube Shorts, uh, Amica is often compared to Sophia, who's another robot that's got an android like face, and
Mm,
those two are like probably one of the most like known
mm.
robots right now outside of Atlas from Boston Dynamics and all the Hanson robotics folks. So Amica is amazing. Had a wonderful time with Leo. Leo, love you, man. In fact, if I can say one more shout out, the reason
Yeah.
why I know Leo, and this is you guys, this has all happened on LinkedIn. So yet again, tip number 3 for live streaming and podcast creation and content creation: network, network, network. So
Amen, sister.
there's a Lego right there robot, and
Mhm.
it is a robot on purpose because there's a gentleman named Andrew F. Bennett who does a Sunday live stream, and it's Legos or Shizers. Sorry, Andrew, I forgot the name of her show, but it has to do. You build Legos while you
Yes.
get interviewed, and
It's
he had
awesome.
Leo and Amica on, and I groupied out on him. I like went crazy, and then I slid into Leo's DMs, and that's how this whole thing came down. And why do you care about Amica, Raquel, that much?
Well, is the idea of educating ourselves, right? So many people are like, oh, they're so afraid of the robots and they're going to overpower it and overtake us in the near future. I'm like, look, educate yourself. Do your due diligence and literally like go out there and get informed. I tell people educate leads to empowerment and it leads to upliftment. That's just the way I operate. And for me, so it's very important to start learning about these things. We're going that way. Technology is advancing at rapid pace. And if we don't catch up, then we're going to be left behind. So for me to start learning how technology, fuses with healthcare, which is my background, is very important. Innovation, anything that I can do to learn each and every day how to best serve the world through technology, it's very important for me. So that's why I care a lot. So, Checkpoint Real Talk does it in such a fantastic, creative, fun manner that it really resonates with me. So I hope it really does with you too. So check it out. Really scan the code, check out the page, follow. I just love it. I'm such an advocate and proponent of them. They're awesome.
Well, thank you. Well, if you guys are really interested or intrigued, next week we're reviewing Her, the movie Her, which is a study in relationships in general. So the
Hmm.
relation between a human and a operating system, or for all intents and purposes, another robot. But it's a very interesting AI discussion that
Yeah.
we'll just be talking, and then think about all the security implications around that. But okay, that's neither here nor there. That's Checkpoint Real Talk. Please, everyone, if you cannot watch us live, we do have a YouTube channel. Please like and subscribe on YouTube and follow us on LinkedIn. We would super appreciate it and love the feedback and recommendations. If you have a show you want us to review, tell us, slide into my DMs. I am taking all suggestions.
Yes, yes, love that, love that. All right, guys, check it out. And like I said, it's awesome. All these fantastic shows that are coming out, and that you're producing, Miss Producer Extraordinaire. We love it. We love it. But let me tell you, I have something special to say. So the reason why I missed last weekend and I missed you guys again, but it was very important for me. It was very special. I went to an Aggie football game, and I went with my brother and my sister-in-law, which they're both dear and near to my heart. So you see the beautiful, picturesque Kyle Field behind. We had a phenomenal time. So for all those Aggies who are watching, if you know how culty like we are, that's what people say. But anyways, I love my Aggies. I bleed maroon. I always say that, and I wear my ring proudly. So this is my brother, as you can see. He did not go to Texas A&M, but he is an honorary Aggie. I call him an honorary Aggie because I think he's more of an Aggie than I am. He lived vicariously through me. So, I mean, all these years when I was at A&M, he would sit with me in the student section, just rooting for the team. And he would walk the campus. He sometimes would go to class with me when he was visiting me. Like he was just the epitome of a big brother, and it still is. And if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have had the opportunity to go to college. And I will say that. So I wanted to highlight him. So this past weekend was his birthday, and I wanted to do something special for him. So we went to the Aggie game, and to me, it was very special to see him. Just love the environment and have his wife actually experience that life as well. So what
Oh,
I
can I give your sister-in-law a little bit of shout out?
yes.
Okay, if you guys ever like see Raquel look banging with her hair, makeup, etc., I mean, your sister-in-law Jess is so kind, and she's like, "No, you're not going out looking like that." I mean, I just love her. So I know she doesn't know me, and I know she only sees me from afar, but I love you, mi hermana.
Oh, yes.
All
My
right.
sister-in-law is just amazing. My brother has been blessed with her presence in his life. So thank you so much, Sonia. Muchas gracias. Te quiero mucho. Oh, all right. So as you can see, he had fun. Okay. So we did what's called we witnessed the spirit walk, which is when the players come and they high five. The line of people waiting for them before they go into the stadium. We saw Coach Jimbo. He's no longer with us, unfortunately. But hey, I'm not gonna get into that debate. But yeah, so we saw just the parade, just everybody. It's called the spirit walk, and the dancers were walking around. So I said, "Hey, yo, it's his birthday. Take a picture with him." So they took a picture with him, and so it was really, really fun. He had an amazing time. That was the view from our seats. Those seats were expensive, y'all. I was like, man, it was Mississippi State. By the way, we won. We blew him out the water. Hey, whoop. I was so excited. We had so much fun. The next day, I didn't have a voice. That goes to tell you we were yelling and screaming our lungs out, but we had so much fun. I love it. But the most meaningful thing for me in this case is the fact that I shared with y'all that my brother is not, he didn't go to A&M, but in heart, like I said, I did something for him that it felt natural. So as part of my double major in undergrad, and I have a minor as well, so I got my ring. I graduated, but then I got my master's. What do you do with another ring? So the next logical thing I thought was I will upgrade to a male size, and I had them engrave his name and a dedication to him. So I gifted this ring to him 12 years ago, exactly to this day. And I remember, we're gonna get emotional. I remember when he opened it, like he dropped to his knees and he was just like, you just don't understand. Like, because it was his sacrifice too. So this is my point. It was both of our sacrifices. Him by allowing me to go to college and helping staying back home and helping with our parents and the home and everything. And me making him proud by becoming the woman that he knew I would become. So I gifted him this ring and he wears that thing everywhere we go. So that's his hand and that's my hand. And we took a picture at the ring. So,
Oh,
girl.
you almost made me cry. I mean, that is such
Woo.
a beautiful gift, and I think this is a story untold that people don't understand,
Mm,
is not only the sacrifice of parents, of immigrants, or if you just grew up in poverty,
yeah.
how much your parents work hard to just get you where you can be, for some, just to feed you. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
And, the fact that your brother took on and
Mhm.
carried that as well to ensure you got the opportunity. I mean, girl, that is just
Yeah.
beautiful. I mean, thank you to your brother and obviously, your sister.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very good people. Oh, good people.
Yeah. So I just wanted to, to kind of share that part as to why it was very symbolic for me to take off and also just to share this moment with you and why my brother is so special to me and my family have been very instrumental in my success and education. So yay. And then we took a little last minute photo and representing what we're about, which is the 12th man. So like I said, it was a beautiful game. It was a beautiful day and we enjoyed it. So I just wanted to share that with you guys, and I hope you enjoyed it as well.
Oh my gosh,
Yay!
that hoodie that you're wearing on your head,
Yeah.
it actually looks like you colored your hair maroon, and I was just about to say, I'm all for it. If you ever wanna color your hair, do it.
Well, maybe I'll think about it next season. How about that?
Do do it, do it.
That would be
Oh, I
so
love it.
good. But yeah, my Aggies will be playing in about 45 minutes. So I'm hoping to catch a little bit of that game. So Gig'em Aggies, hey, whoop. I'm so excited,
Giga what?
y'all. Gig'em Aggies, hey, whoop. As y'all can see, I'm always I'm always calified.
Giga, everyone.
But yeah, so again, thank you so much, guys, for showing up, for being here. It's amazing to see the power of a community. Please take a minute and connect with the folks that you see in the comments. This is the best time. This is a safe space for everybody to connect, and learn from one another, get to know one another. There is so much power in sharing our stories. I'm such a proponent of that. Hello, mi hermano Steven Ng desde Nueva York. Un besito para ti, Mr. Mike Asherbanner. And but yeah, really quick, before we bring our fantastic guest up, I'm so excited. I've been excited about the show. I want to just verbally shout out, the Hounds of Business community. We love you as one of the proud sponsors of this show. Without you guys, we wouldn't be here. Mike Asherbander, thank you so much for always being here day in and day out and doing everything. I know, we're going through some things, personal stuff, but you always make the time to be here, and I appreciate that. So te quiero mucho. I love you, bro. Walking Tall, the Walking Tall movement. We love you. Yes. What are you going to do? Oh, there you go. See, exactly. Now, I'm the flip it, girl. There you go. My brother Chris Malizewski, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to walk tall along with you as the Latina ambassador, part of Walking Tall. I'm so excited for 2024. So many wonderful things are ramping up and just cooking in the background, right? For the Walking Tall movement, their podcast, the second season just launched, so check it out. We'll be putting the QR code later, but yeah.
Throughout the episode, we're going to be doing something slightly different. We're just going to put up the QR codes kind of randomly on the sides, just to, give our sponsors a little bit more time with our audience.
Yes, and it's part also of the rebranding that will be going until 2024. Rocky's Corner is going to be rebranding slightly, just to format different things and just be even more inclusive than it already is, because I love everyone. Okay, and what about Brilliant Beam Media, Madame?
Oh, that's me and our company and cast of merry characters. If you need help to better execute your corporate messaging into social media, especially on LinkedIn, hit me up. And the team at Brilliant Beam Media, we're happy to do that. So Raquel is intimately aware of how awesome we are, aren't we?
Absolutely phenomenal, stellar, brilliant, I shall say. But I'm not biased. Not biased at all. But no, seriously, if y'all need any of the digital media, anything regarding that, y'all need to check out Brilliant Bee Media. It's amazing. It's life-changing. I've learned so much. I've learned so much as I go. And and last but not least, who else? Tausi, Janice Shokrian.
See this? Tausi, this is part of the pillowcase. This is actually an added bonus, but behind me is giving me actual lumbar support right now. So if you need neck and lumbar, you guys check out Chelsea Pillowcase. I swear by it. And I told Janice, and I know she's probably being kind, but for every 10 Tausi sold, Brilliant Beam is donating one to a cause that we have yet to determine. But we're just we're open to giving. And if you guys have suggestions of who would best benefit from the Tausi pillowcases, by all means, let us know in DMs.
Yes, ma'am. That's awesome. Janet Shokran, un saludo para ti. I send you kisses and a shout out because we love you. You're amazing. All right. Well, I know I mentioned the Walking Tall movement not too long ago, but this is exactly how we met the guest of honor today. We met him through actually traveling, right, to the Mental Health Marketing Conference. So please welcome to the stage our guest of honor of the day, Reggie D. Ford.
And clap. And clap.
And clap.
Syya, I love the dance. I gotta take some notes.
Yes. Well, with this crew, you get so much. You saw us in action. You saw how we operated. I mean, going from like Syya wearing her Tigger onesie, parading it in, outside of Nashville in Franklin, Tennessee. We were like, whoa, these foreigners, not really foreigners, but you know what I mean.
Oh no, we were in Franklin, Tennessee. We were foreigners. Come on now. No. No, it was, you guys, we were in a really nice part of town, and I walked around in a onesie. This guy pulled up in his Rolls Royce to drop his kid off to school. I'm like, are we That's a Rolls Royce, you guys. Yeah,
At
there'd be
6
some
o'clock in the
money over
morning.
there, peoples.
Yes, it was quite an experience, I should say. I'd never been in a place like that. So, and just having Syya, parading with a Tigger onesie downtown, frankly, was quite a sight to behold, I should say. Uh,
We're bringing awareness to mental health, people.
Yes.
You need
Yes.
something to like pop your eye in the morning, other than the apparently a Rolls Royce just chilling in the parking lot trying to get the kid to school.
Like I said, you never have a dull moment with this crew. Let me tell you that. But so Reggie, you've been part of our, you've witnessed our shenanigans. You witnessed the impact that we create, the fanfare that we create around us to raise awareness of why we do what we do, right? And we
Mhm.
met through the Walking Tall movement when we went to Franklin, Tennessee at the Mental Health Marketing Conference. We had the pleasure of going there and meeting so many wonderful people who are advocating for mental health. And you're one of them. So please tell us a little bit about yourself and so people can start getting to know you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And I just want to say first shout out to y'all and Chris because y'all had this energy that invited everybody over. And so y'all had the perfect location at the conference. And yeah, it was great to meet y'all. But a little bit about me. I'm born and raised in Nashville. So y'all were close to my stomping grounds when y'all came here. And my background looks totally different than where I am today. I think when people hear my story, they are amazed at kind of the leaps that I've made in my life. But born to a very young mother, my mom was 14 years old when she had me, which coming up in the hood in poverty, and it was a lot of struggle. It was difficult financially. It was difficult emotionally, and I think one of the things that informed a lot of my upbringing was how I responded to emotional connection with people. I was very closed off from people. I didn't trust people, frankly, and so that carried on into a lot of my life, which I'm sure we'll talk about later. But my mom, she knew the importance of education. And I think Rocky, hearing your story, that's something that we share is education is a key to unlocking opportunities for so many things. And so I
Mhm.
got plenty of opportunities to go to some of the finest institutions from an education standpoint, and I thrived there. I think the opportunity really opened itself with my combination of academics and athletics. So I
Mm.
played football, basketball, and track most of my life, and but in a football league when I was real young, I got identified by this private school that was people were pulling up with Rolls Royces, and
Mhm.
it was unlike the world that I grew up in, but it was an opportunity to open my eyes to something new and give me that exposure. I think really benefited me, and so yeah, I went to that school, which came with a lot of opportunity, a lot of promise, but a lot of my scars when I talk about my trauma come from that situation as well. Being, when I first entered the school, the only black person in my class, to
Mm.
coming from the background that I came from, and then just dealing with being a black person in the South,
Mhm.
or just in America, I think. Um, but with all that, continue to persevere. I think that's a theme throughout my life, and um, ended up being the first person in my immediate family to graduate from high school and then go
Mm.
to college. I went to Vanderbilt University. Shout out to my doors.
Hey,
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn. Okay, wait,
applause,
stop,
applause.
wait, stop.
We have to.
I know. Hold on. I need to. Oh shit! Oh shoot! I just spilled my coffee.
Anchored down. Yes.
Yes.
Hold up. You just skipped a step there, my friend. Okay, it's
Yeah.
one thing to be the first in your family to graduate high school. Okay, that's just impressive on its
Mhm.
own. But then you go to an elite college. Like
Mhm.
there was a what you did something to earn that,
Yeah, for
my
sure.
friend. That wasn't just given willy nilly. So was it? Are you a straight A student?
I
Are you
was.
straight A
It's
student and kick
amazing.
booty
I was for a really
athlete?
long time, until I got to the private school. I think I got my first B when I went to the private school, but even then, like, I don't think I ever got below a C. And may have graduated with, somewhere around a 4.0, maybe higher because of APs and things like that. But,
Mhm.
um, so like
You know, give or take a
school
point
came
or
to
two
me.
above 4.0 is what I got.
Like, school came to me. I
Mm.
think, like, when I look at, like, what gave me peace, it was sitting down, having an assignment, and for a long time, I felt like this was kind of a flaw of our education system, but it felt just so much like pattern recognition. I'm really good at recognizing patterns, and so if I could see the example, I could pick up concepts really quickly and move forward with that. And so school came easy to me, and like I went to Vandy, but I had opportunities to go to Harvard, Yale, UPenn, Stanford. I wanted to stay home. I wanted to stay home with my younger siblings and my family, and so that's why I chose Vandy, so I could be in Nashville.
That's
Um,
amazing. And,
yeah.
I hear you just talking. And, part of my story is very similar to yours in that case, that I was the first one to graduate to graduate from high school and go to college. And not only just any college, but a really good college,
Mhm.
university. So for me, that was very important to be able to continue that tradition and make it even better for the next generation. And that includes
Yes.
my daughters. So at any point, though, and this is curious because this happened to me. At any point, did you feel like you weren't deserving of that, even though you knew you
Yeah.
were a stellar person? At any point, did you feel like you were not, like, maybe this wasn't for me? Like, is this lucky and I'm just
That's a
lucky?
great
And
question.
how did you handle that?
I think it came earlier before I even chose Vanderbilt. So when Harvard started sending me letters, um, I that was when the imposter syndrome came in. It's like I don't deserve, like, little old me does not go to school at Harvard. And I had already had this difficult transition from public school to private school, and I thought that that was the hardest thing that I ever had to deal with, socially and culturally. And I didn't want to make another transition like that. And so I self sabotaged around that whole opportunity. Coaches and teachers and everybody was trying to get me to accept the offer, and that offer would have been for athletics. Vandy was just academics, but I would have played football and maybe run track at Harvard or Penn. And but when I got to my SAT, I was like, I really don't want to do this. I'm gonna circle CA,
Mhm.
CA, 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 and lay my head down. And I did that, and I, like,
Mm.
self-sabotage to the fullest because I didn't feel like I was deserving of that opportunity. Just this internal dialogue going in my head from a lot of the things that I experienced in earlier life. Like, there's a record playing that is a very critical version of me. And
Mhm.
so, yeah, but when I got to Vandy, I felt more so like that was home for me. So even being at a school like that felt very natural, but it came a lot earlier. And I look back at it. I ended up taking the SAT, ACT a couple times just to get my grades right, get my
Mhm.
scores right. But I look back at that time and wonder, I don't regret it. I think I still would have made the same decision, but just pursue that opportunity without the lenses of my trauma affecting what I was doing.
Mhm. No.
Okay, um, I gotta say something real quick. Um, the way you throw out, "Yeah, I coulda gone to Harvard, I coulda gone to." I'm just laughing because as a West Coaster, like, we don't understand what those words are coming out of your mouth except in movies, right? Like, you're I mean, do you understand how amazing that is that you even
Yeah.
have the opportunity to be like, "Well, but I'd be, like, over here with them,"
Yeah.
versus, "I have heard of the school before, and I hear it's a great place." So, kudos to you. I
Yeah.
mean, and I think, and this is a shout out to Naveen, Goyal, MD, the
The
doctor,
doctor.
illustrious Dr. Naveen Goyal. Um, he has a new show called Underdog Untold, and he just shared a live stream about himself too, and you too resonate with me with the exact same thing.
Mm.
You self-doubted yourself, didn't think you belonged. He's in medical school in a class where he was like, I don't think I can pass this class," and he was doubting himself, and he's like, "Everyone else is kicking butt but me," and stopped to say, "Wait a second, I'm in medical school. I earned my right to be in this school."
Mhm.
And he goes, "I am already a badass, and I'm just struggling a little bit." I feel like that is where you were too, is sunshine. You just got in all the fracking, not top-notch, respected Ivy League schools, and yet you still had that little self-doubt of belonging.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm blown
Mhm.
away at that. So can I ask you a little bit on that? How did you
Mhm.
overcome it in that moment in time? Not now, because we're gonna talk about more about the mental health, marketing conference and our experiences and what you do, but at that moment in time, was there one thing that you did to just change yourself out of it? Like, trigger yourself to go in a different path?
I think I think it still persisted, but I think my mindset was that, when we talk about success or, where I would end up with the opportunity, I felt like I was going to be fine either way. If I had gone down the route of Ivy League, if I had gone down the route of not even going to college and starting business or starting working, I feel like just because of my work ethic and the commitment that I've had to being a better person each and every day, that I would have been in a great situation. And I think that helped me deal with the fact that I had this letter that I had many letters, think Harvard, think Penn, like I had all those letters and I ripped them up and I threw them away because I didn't want them to be a reminder. But I think knowing that um, I could be successful without that was kind of the thing that helped me get through it because like, I don't know, I don't have many regrets in life. I think you can live with regret and it can eat away at you, but, like, everything happens for a reason, and I probably wouldn't have still been in Nashville to meet y'all. I wouldn't be in this position that I'm in. I wouldn't have met my wife. I wouldn't have done all these different things, and so I don't look at it as like, "Oh, I missed out on things." I'm just like, that's the way that universe was supposed to work for me.
I love that. I love your take on that, Reggie. You know why? Because so many of us, like I said, sometimes sulk in that, oh, if I had done something different? And I think that this is something that I also talked to you about that I said, I don't want to be on my deathbed,
Mm,
when I'm like 80 or whenever the Lord decides to take me, and regret and look back and say, man, I wish I would have tried this. I wish I
right.
would have done that. And so that's why I am living life to the fullest and really enjoying. I know it sounds cliche, but really enjoying each and every step, even if it's like, I know we get faced with so many different things on every day. The
Yeah.
devil's always trying us, but hey, we're not going to let it. But those moments in itself are so enlightening. And I go back and say, I wouldn't be in this position if I didn't go through that. So
Mhm.
somehow I have to have some sort of gratitude for the trauma that I lived. But now, how am I utilizing that trauma in order
Absolutely.
to be a stepping stone for my next launch path? And so for me, like a book was like, that's my testament. That's going to be
Yeah.
my signature and that leaves starts my legacy. And I know you have a fantastic book, and I really want you to dive deep on how the notion of that came about, and
Mhm.
then what decided for you to actually take the step to write a book.
Absolutely. I think for me, it came at a time in my life where so much of what we call success was I had accomplished that and I was accomplishing that, but internally I was miserable. I was in the worst place mentally than I had ever been in my life. And it started with 2000 the January, well, late 2018, my grandmother, who is sitting here over my shoulder, the rock of my life, the most nurturing, loving, caring person that I had ever known. She had been diagnosed with terminal brain cancer. And so it was dealing with the feelings around, what was imminent for her. And then fast forward a couple, weeks, and she had recently had a brain surgery. She had had tumors removed. She had had all this medication. And she, January 1st, 2019, attempted to take her own life. And that was my good morning call on New Year's Day. And I, dealing with all of that and having to understand, like, how do I cope with this is the person I go to when I'm having hard times and who I talk to. I don't have anybody to talk to about certain things anymore. And then on top of that, being, a primary caretaker 6 months after starting a business, 6 months after being married. And so there's a lot of transition, a lot of things happening at that time. And then 2 days after that, there was just chaos that ensued in my grandmother's living room, family members wanting to kill each other, and I feel I stepped in as this mediator of sorts, and, yeah, it just, like, started to spiral from there. And so I took to my phone, and because that, like, I was literally taking care of my grandmother, like, 24/7, and I'm on my phone at the end of the night typing in my notes saying, how in the world did we get in this situation? Just a couple weeks ago, we are preparing for Christmas and now we're here. And fast forward, spoiler alert, but my grandmother passed away and there was more chaos. There was, things from my mom, things from my dad that really just impacted me to a level where I never thought I would be. And I think I had like recently gotten featured in top 100 in finance, or I know I was nominated for Forbes 30 under 30, and then top 100 of finance hit, and then I had this panic attack. I was lying on the floor and I was crying and I was blabbering incoherently for I don't even know how long. And I, leading up to that, hadn't had any sleep for 30 days. And so like all the anxiety, all the triggers from my trauma, all of this stuff from, what I had been through in life that had been channeled into work, 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 perform, achieve, grow, had just like went out the window and I just like collapsed and exploded. And so that very next day is when I started to answer the question, how in the world did I end up on the floor in that situation? And
Mhm.
that's kind of where the book started, was answering that question and digging into who I am, how did I become this person that I am, like the complete person, not the LinkedIn version that so many people saw of me for so long, not the resume,
Mhm.
but the whole person that is Reggie Ford.
Mhm, mhm. And again, that right there is a powerful statement. The whole person, right? Because yes, to some people's only certain aspects are seen. Only we're seen as speakers. Like for example, you are a phenomenal speaker, a keynote speaker at that, and people will know you only by that, but they don't know behind the doors like what led to that, what took
Mhm.
all these years of trials and tribulations and the things that you have to go through and some of this healing that we're still doing, right?
Yeah.
That led to that. And to for me, just listening to your story again, that's why I vibed so well with you. That's why I was so in tune with you because I see so much of my story in you.
Mhm.
You being a young Black man growing up in an environment that is not conducive to success or conducive to get out of the hood, right? But you persevered. You
Mhm.
went. You did everything you could to get out of that. So walk us a little bit through, how did you become a keynote speaker? Like
Yeah.
that to me is very important because I know many people are really
Oh,
wanting
yeah.
to take to the stage.
Absolutely, and so my book came before the keynotes. I know some people do it the other way around, but, like, I after I published the book on Juneteenth of 2021, I leading up to it and after it, I was promoting the book. I'm talking on podcasts, I'm, going to different events, having book events, and then I got invited. Like, my first gig was a keynote speech, at Goodwill, and so
Mhm.
I spoke for their annual breakfast, fundraising breakfast, and then it just started to flood in after that. And I think one of the things that helped me was like I don't want to be rah rah, like give you all these like sound bites and things like that. Like I just talk from my heart, and I might have a couple of bullet points that I'm going to guide me through my speech, but I'm speaking from the heart and I'm speaking with what resonates with the audience, and yeah, staying authentic to myself. And so, yeah, it became that opportunity came up just through networking. Y'all mentioned it earlier. Like my network opened up that door, and then couple weeks later, got another keynote opportunity, and that was at a bigger conference where there were other individual entities that wanted to see me come, speak with their entity. And so, like my whole 2022 was booked up from that, and it's just been rolling from there. And honestly, I've done very little promotion around my speaking, which I want to do more of just to see what levels I can take it. But it has been a lot of word of mouth and people actually experiencing it. A leader
Mhm.
who has the opportunity to say, I saw this person and I want my people to see this person as well.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
and it took, I've gotten some training, I've gotten, different things to help me become a more engaging speaker. But I think when you speak from the heart and you have a captivating story and you share that with to people with intention, and I mean, my agenda is to spread awareness around mental health so that people don't end up on the floor like I did,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And and I think like that's way too late, and it can get even farther than that. But like that is my agenda. If I'm going in with an agenda, is being that advocate, especially for young people, because I think if we can tap into them while they're young, then
Mm.
they have better resources, then they have better self regulating, tools that they can lean on and not end up in that same situation. And
Oh my
so,
God.
yeah, that's kind of how that started.
No, and I mean, like I said, I appreciate that you are being very open and sharing your story because it's difficult. It's hard sometimes to get up there and feel vulnerable, right? That everybody's judging you, looking at you, and that's not the case. So for me, being vulnerable and sharing my story has actually been very enlightening. It has
Mhm.
been eye opening. It has been healing.
Yes.
What role has vulnerability like played in your life that you
Mm.
think has led you to where you are now?
I think it for me too, it has led to tremendous amounts of healing. And I think back to just my first instances of being vulnerable, probably with my college girlfriend who's now my wife. I wouldn't open up to anybody. Everything was shallow before that. People knew me and people knew like a certain part of me, but like when I got into the deep stuff that really affected me, she was the first person that really got that part of me. And so it helped me heal because I'm telling these stories and I'm recounting parts of my life. And instead of the internalized dialogue continuing or the, the bad neural pathways just continuing down that way, it was intervention. It was like, okay, well, maybe therapy is a good option, or maybe, certain, but like if I had never been vulnerable, the way that I presented myself to the world was confident, happy and all of this. And so no one would have ever known. And I think
Mhm,
we have a lot of people who go through the world like that, where the world doesn't know you're suffering. And then we see a headline one day and it's like, wow, I didn't even
mhm,
know. And
mhm,
so vulnerability has helped me heal. It's also led to so much connection with other people. I've had friends for 20 years, 20 plus years at this point. And after, I started opening up and talking about my story, I'm hearing stories about them. Like I got one of my very, very, very best friends. I learned something about him last week and I'm like, I never knew this in my
mhm,
life. And it's just like these are very significant parts of people's lives that go uncovered until they feel safe, and
mhm,
me sharing gives people permission. And so the healing plus the connection, and then I think just like going back to living more authentically, I felt like my imposter syndrome, more than like not feeling like I belong somewhere, was feeling like I am not showing up who, like, all of who I am, and I want
mhm,
to be able to do that. And
mhm,
so yeah, but I think
mhm.
like one of the things that always comes up for me around vulnerability is looking at shame, and how, trauma produces so much shame, like they go hand in
Yeah.
hand. But the opposite of shame is vulnerability. And if I can become less shameful about the things that I experienced, knowing that I'm not the only one who had a teenage mother, who had a father who was in prison, who experienced physical, emotional, sexual abuse, who, like, I'm not the only one with that story.
Mhm,
And
mhm.
so if I can reduce that shame and increase that level of vulnerability, then that healing, the connection, all of that grows.
Yeah, oh my gosh. I mean, yeah, well, you just said that is a mic drop moment. I'm like, "Oh my gosh, okay." Like, yes, yes, we need more of that. See, and this is why you're just the perfect fit for everything that we're advocating. Sharing your story, being vulnerable, having the ability to touch lives and resonate with so many people. It's part of our authenticity. And
Mhm,
I live that on every single day because I think it's very important to be able to voice our opinions, be able to voice our stories and say, hey, this is where I'm at. This is where, I've come from. And this is what I've been through. And it's
mhm,
okay. It's your lived experience, but how you use your lived experiences and turn it into something positive that can contribute positively to the world is
mhm.
what matters at this day and age. And so for you, I know you speak to organizations, you speak to individuals, but how are you pretty much, letting organizations know how they can better serve for those who experience trauma?
Absolutely. I think, like, especially when I speak to organizations that are surrounding the youth and young people, it's all about creating safe and inclusive environments. And what does that look like physically? What does that look like emotionally? And what does that look like culturally? Because if one of those things is off, then a person is not going to be in, their window of tolerance, getting into some polyvagal theory, but they're not going to be in a situation to where you can get the most out of them. You're not going to get a student to be able to learn the best if they are feeling unsafe. You're not going to get an employee to work as hard as they can if they don't feel safe. And so, like, that is the crux of it all, is like, how do we make safe environments for each of these people? But I think one of the things in like dealing with people who have shame, and I won't even associate it just with trauma, but if they have shame, is to give them a voice. And that voice may have to be anonymous at first. That voice may have to come in some kind of smaller forum before it opens up to a bigger one. But like, if you can give a voice to the voiceless, that is going to help empower them and break down some of that shame. I think for me, in earlier in my career, I didn't feel empowered to speak up, to advocate for myself. where I felt like, my performance review should have been this versus this, whether I felt like I should have gotten a promotion here over there. I didn't have the ability to do that. And I think if organizations have this trauma informed mindset, with dealing with everyone, because I think we all experience trauma to some extent, then you can combat that and allow people to have a voice so that they can advocate for themselves. But another thing I think is like being very flexible with people, because we are so complex, flexible in the hours, the locations, and all of these different things that people, how they show up. I was talking to one of my clients, is a school in Charlotte, and he's having he's specifically working with like student retention and academic success, but he has a student who's going through a severe cancer treatment and can't be on campus, but is getting all the work done.
Mm.
And the school is not being as inclusive around that situation, though her grades are fabulous, though like everything is being, and it's like, how do we create environments that are more flexible for people in their situation and in their lives? I think that is super crucial. And then, for me, I think every organization should have an emphasis on the mental health, and how behavioral health is treated. So whether it be through some type of budget that you set aside in an EAP, assistance program, or just something where people can have access to resources that can get them help, whether it's an app, whether it's a online therapist or in-person therapist. Like, it's so hard to find therapy, especially when you're dealing with your work. It's like, okay, where can I go to turn that can help me access these? And then if I need the help paying for them, because it's expensive to heal,
Mm,
how can I get that? And companies, we report so much on the bottom line, but like, I think, bottom line in life is how we treat people. And
mm,
so,
mm,
yeah, I think those are huge.
It strikes me as at what cost of that
Hmm.
bottom line,
Hmm.
right? And so, we use concepts all the time on LinkedIn, right? It's people, processes, technology, whatever, but people supposed to be first. And yet
Yeah.
the idea of, you can't run machinery without oil to lubricate the gears. I feel like with mental health, it's the same thing. You can't, that squeaky wheel in that brain gets louder and louder to the point where
Hmm.
they're not functioning, right? And so I just love what you're saying with that, because that advocacy, we're starting to see more of it. Here's a question I have for you, and I think you're a bit younger than me. Everyone is these days younger than me, damn it. But that being said, is this. It's so depressing. But anyway, Reggie, do you feel, and with what you're seeing, the fact that the boomer generation is now really finally starting to retire and leave the workforce, you got the Gen X's coming up, millennials, Gen Z, right? Do you feel the mental health conversation is more open now that the younger generations is more inclined to talk about it and address it versus the, whatever societal expectations of mental health was for the previous generations? Are you seeing a shift at all, or do you think it's still very much a challenge to bring that awareness up?
I think absolutely seeing a shift. Younger generations, like I would say, like I'm a millennial, and so millennials and younger are very much I think everyone is somewhat of an advocate around mental health, because we've experienced so many different things that have informed us. And I think going back to kind of what you said about bottom line and what you sacrifice, people over profits, and different things like that, is like, when I looked at, I did all the things right. Right. I didn't drink until I was 21. I didn't smoke, and I didn't like I partied, but I didn't do too much craziness, and I did all the things right. And yet I was still miserable. Right. So what is success if I get to a point where I've achieved all of that and I'm still miserable? That is not success to me. And so I had sacrificed my mental health all that time. I think a lot of people in our generation have seen that. You see celebrities who have all the things in the world that we would want to strive for, and yet they're miserable and they die by suicide. We see
Mm,
parents working their butts off, and we see that, when they come home or when they die, they have regrets about what they did in life, what they spent their time, and what really they prioritized. And I think we are learning from that and understanding that mental health is a part of our overall health. I have like nagging pains and things. And I'm like, no medical doctor, the ones that aren't, trained into connecting the mind and the body, they don't tell me that this is the reason that I have neck pain. But like all my people who understand that trauma can live right here. And so I think
Yes.
there is a shift for sure, because younger generations are seeing older generations and what they've suppressed and how that has turned out. It's like me. I had bottled up everything for 28 years, and it exploded on my floor in the living room. And so yeah, I think we're seeing a big shift in that. And even when I talk to like young people, if I talk to a group of students, I always open it up to Q&A, and the questions that they ask are totally different than the adults. And it's showing a focus and a true care for themselves, their mental health, and how this world treats it. And so I even hesitate sometimes when I talk about a stigma around it, because I feel like that stigma is decreasing significantly. So
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, and
I
that's a
know, I'm
great.
right there with you.
Go ahead, Sia.
That's fine. Sorry. I'm like, oh my God. No, because we can keep going and talking about this, but I feel like let's tie it a little bit more together as to how we all met with that, because and I just happened to see the person that actually created the event. So let's talk about this image right here at the mental
Aw.
health marketing conference. So shout out to Steve Turney, who was in the audience. I do want to shout you out, my friend. Thank you so much. I mean, I had not heard of this before. So I mean, I gotta tell you, as someone that had not heard about this conference, and the fact that there was just so many genuinely amazing people really advocating for change. Let's talk about this experience. So, was this your guys'
Mhm.
first time to this mental health marketing conference?
It was my first time. I had heard about it maybe like a night or two before. So I think Steve even said that I walked up to him and I was like, he remembered my name because I was the last person to register. And so like it was just
Wow.
by chance that I was able to make it. I had like canceled all my other meetings to be able to be there, but it was something that was important to me. And I'm so glad that I went. And if anybody is considering it, absolutely go. Like it was phenomenal from every speaker to every breakout that I went to, and then the exhibitors, like getting to meet y'all and different things like that. It was a fantastic conference. And so yeah, it was my first time.
Yeah, no, man, that was my first time as well. And like I said, just the fact that we were able to just resonate with so many folks, right? And where we were at the booth, and people were literally just coming up to us and saying, "Well, what do you guys do?" And this and that. And they would just, once we told them what we did, it's like their whole barrier went down, and they're like, "Let's talk." And they would share their stories. They would sit, with Chris, and Chris is a phenomenal interviewer. Like, oh my gosh, he's gifted. And Sia producing, and me, I was like, just watching everything, and I'm like, this is beautiful. This is what we need. We need to duplicate this effort massively all over the world, because we need spaces like this. So my gosh, I look at that picture and I'm like, oh my gosh, it was so much
Yeah.
work, but so much came out of that. It was 33 interviewees, correct, Sia?
Wow.
Yeah, and full disclosure, sorry guys, I've been hella behind. But we are going to be releasing the series. So that is coming out. It is going to be an audio format because there is an error on the video side. So I'm so sorry. Yeah, talk about a cluster. But we have a lot of great screenshots though. Yeah, there was a lag on the video, guys. I mean, if you wanted to look like, what's that? Um, like if you want to look like a really bad like TikTok video where they do jump cuts all over the place at the most inappropriate times, that would be how everyone's videos look. So we're just gonna go opt for audio format, but it all is gonna come on out. And I just want to say thank you so much for your time and patience and everyone. And like I said, shout out to Steve Turney. Everyone, you really should get to know him. Just so passionate to ensure that we elevate and amplify the mental health community, and help everyone understand that there is help. Like there
Yes.
is someone out there for you. So please, please, please do. And shout out to Walking Tall movement. So a way that's kind of aggregating a lot of this is to help everyone understand that the Walking Tall movement isn't one specific thing. It is a community of communities, if you will, that's coming together in aggregate. So everyone wants to walk tall together. So Chris Malazewski, not so subtle reference. Reggie, you might be an
Yeah.
amazing amazing ambassador for
Right.
mental health, for Walking
Absolutely.
Tall. We'll talk
There you
about
go.
that later
Okay.
offline.
I approve. Yes.
I mean, but
I even told Reggie this. I said, yo, you will be a great fit because it fits. It's a natural
Mhm.
fit. So
Yeah.
there you go, Chris. He gets the vibe. So there you go, bud. Uh-huh.
we want
Yeah,
I
it is.
everyone to
love it.
walk tall with us, whether you know it or not. You are part of the walking tall community, and everyone can walk tall together. You can even walk tall by yourself as you're working through your process, guys. But the
Yep.
idea of it is always walk tall.
Mhm.
Yes. And
Yeah.
then you're surrounded with a supportive community who understands and been there, is going through that. And, we have one main goal. It's just being there to support one another. So I love that so much, you guys. I think there's one more picture. There it goes. See,
Oh,
I
there is.
loved
Did you do it?
it.
Okay, there you go. I've got
Yeah.
everyone, full disclosure, I've got a massive lag today. So I apologize if the things are a little slow.
Yeah, it's okay. But
Oh,
tell us
good.
about this experience for you, really quick. I know that you approached, we talked, and then
Yeah,
we hit it off. We vibed, and you're like, all right, let's do this. And so,
absolutely.
how was it? How did it feel to be able to share in this way?
I wanna say this was the first day, and I think this was after Chris had already shared his experience of being a victim
Oh,
of mass shooting or not being involved in a mass
yes.
shooting, and
Mhm.
so, and I like, going back to vulnerability, right? That led to a connection. I'm like, "Oh, I feel like I can vibe with this person over here, even though we're at a, conference." It just it helped me approach with my guards dropped. And so, like, I had no idea what y'all were doing. I was just like, I wanted to learn about what Walking Tall is doing. And the mission just spoke to me. Like you said, I think it is a great fit because we are all doing this work, and it makes sense when there are so many commonalities between the things that we're doing, and like being Latina and me being black and Chris being white and Syya being Asian, like there's like, we can reach more people in that way. And so I think it is a beautiful thing. But this interview, like I had done many podcasts and things like that. I'd never done one like on the spot like that. But it was cool. It was like probably not even 10 minutes. And
Mhm.
like you said, Chris is a great interview. To be able to get enough information out of a person in that short amount of time is a
Mhm.
skill. And so, but yeah, he had some great questions with very little information about me on the front end. But I think it was fantastic. So shout out to Chris.
Yes. Yeah, he's amazing, like I said, and such an amazing ambassador to carry this movement forward. Like I said, I loved it. I learned so much from this conference, and so shout out to you again, Steve Turney. And we are so looking forward to 2024's conference. I'm
Hmm.
Yes,
just
we are.
like, I
Oh yeah.
will be there, no joke. And this
Oh
time
yeah.
we're gonna go with more time though, because I just felt like we
Yeah.
were so rushed.
And we're definitely gonna be more prepared. I will bring the video equipment that's actually gonna work for the video purposes, and that will actually work. And yeah, no.
I love it. I love it. But I know we're getting to the top of the hour and I respect everybody's time. I also have to go watch my Aggies game. But I wanted to ask you as a parting message, what is next for Reggie Ford? I love to ask that because it's so open-ended and we're allowed to dream,
Yes,
right?
we are. We are. I think what's next for me is I'm working on more books. And I say more, like I think some children's books, and then also adult books for children, and then just straight out adult books. So writing more because that's brought me so much peace, and allowed me to connect with people. But my platform is growing in a way to where I can show up in my authentic self just like this. The shame is dropping because I think that also
Yes.
combats me stepping into the light that I'm supposed to be in, but that's coming down as yeah, appreciate that.
Yes. Yes.
Um, and so just more of me, my thought leadership, and being the biggest mental health advocate that I can be, because I want to see a world where people are happy, where people are healthy, and so, yeah, I think you'll see me on a stage near you, Steve. I want to be on stage next year, so let's make that happen. And any other places like where I can share my story. I have, I'm not a clinician, but I have clinical knowledge because of all the work that I've done on myself, and I'm happy to share that. I love again working with youth, and so speaking in any regard to where the people who are serving the youth or the actual youth is near and dear to my heart.
Yeah.
And yeah, so on stages and using this voice, I finally got a voice, y'all.
I love it. And see, this is whenever you discover that power that you have within you and you amplify it, that is when it's really, really powerful. So
Yeah.
I love it. And talking about amplifying voices, Miss Sia.
Yeah, yeah.
I
No, okay. So we are like running into our queues and slotting in. Healthcare Amplified Summit taking place January 25th in Orlando, Florida, in collaboration with Podfest Expo. Podfest is having its 10th anniversary of this convention for all things content creators. It originally started with podcasters, but now it's all expanding out. And because of the strength and popularity of Podfest, a group of folks. So I'm going to give Dr. Sabrina Runbeck a shout out, John Largent and Zach Demopoulos. They decided to create Healthcare Amplified, an organization for healthcare professionals. And obviously, the mental health is a huge component to it. So they just closed out their speakers list. And Raquel Flores, do you have an announcement to make on that?
Hi, yes, I will be one of the speakers invited. I am one of the speakers invited. So I am honored. Thank you so much, Healthcare Amplified, for allowing me the opportunity to continue with my message and my mission in life. So thank you all.
Excellent. And I'm just gonna be a moderator, but I'll be on stage too as a moderator. No, okay,
The
but
best moderator.
damn straight. I'm
Love
sorry. I was
that.
about to say something else inappropriate. Okay, but no, for sure, you guys. For those that are all
Yeah.
in the healthcare space and you are content creating, by all means, you should join us at Healthcare Amplified, and the links and all that will be added to it. Or if you just like look at any of my posts or Brilliant Bee Media's posts, we are huge supporters
Mhm.
of the Healthcare Amplified. So shout out to that, you guys. Please
Uh,
scan Reggie Ford's QR code and get to know him, because you know what? Before he knows it, he's gonna be sucked into the vortex that is our world. He doesn't know
yes.
that yet, does he, Raquel?
Yeah, no, he don't know that, but he don't know what's gonna hit him. So it was good. It's good stuff. It's good
I
stuff.
know. I
But
trust that it's good.
I love it. But this is the power of the community, guys. And I keep advocating and I keep cheering you guys on to make sure that, you join a community, whether it's A, B, or Z. It doesn't matter. Be part of something that is greater than you, because there's always support out there and you're not alone. I always like to say that. Just because so many people are alone in this world, they feel alone, but they don't reach out. So we are here for you. If you don't know where to go, we have the Hounds Business Community. We have this special corner here that you have in my show. You have advocates every which way. You have the Hounds of Business. You have Brilliant Bee Media. You have the Outlier Project. Shout out to Scott. You just have so many fantastic people doing amazing things in the world. So reach out. That is the main thing. Look at the people in the comments and connect. So on my end, Reggie, thank you so much for just being a true human who is doing fantastic things for the world. I admire you. I commend you, and I've had this chat with you, and you're like a brother. From another mother. I'm gonna say that. The camaraderie, the knowledge, the wisdom that you have, and what you're imparting in the world is just admirable. And you're young. I'm just like, oh my gosh, he has so much to give. I'm like, there we go. We unite and empower our youth. Empowered and educating. Educating, empower, and uplift. So, with that said, I hope the audience has walked away with valuable and massive information, because I know there was value. I don't know what is this here. What is that?
It's
I
a
don't know.
heart.
Oh, is that a heart? I was like, what is this? Some Asian
I
sign
didn't
that I
know
don't.
what that
It,
was.
it is. It's K-pop heart. It's like,
Well, that's why I don't know it. So that's why I was like, wait, I don't know. But anyhow, guys, I would like to close this show out, Chris Malazewski style, walking tall movement. So on three, I will say walk tall, so that we can, just empower people to make sure that they reach out. We love you guys. Please, 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 reach out to us. We always like to network and connect with new folks, and let them know that we're here for you. So without further ado, guys, thank you so much for the opportunity to be here with y'all. It's an honor. Reggie, we'll talk. right after the
Oh, yeah.
show, okay? Because you are going to be sucked into this vortex. We love you guys. Please stay tuned and have a fantastic rest of your Saturday, and come back next Saturday with another fabulous guest, okay? So on 3, 1, 2, 3. Walk.
Walk
Walk tall.
tall. Woo-woo.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thanks for joining us, and I hope our chat inspired you to make a new connection. Please like and subscribe, and let's build a great community in our little corner where we get serious business done by injecting fun. Thanks for tuning in, and until next time, come back to Raquel's Connection Corner.